only way you're ever gonna learn. You look back and it's all in the past. I'm dwelling on the thoughts I cannot say to you. If I don't say the words, then maybe it's not true. And it feels alright when they come and say to you.
Good afternoon. Welcome to NUFC Matters with me, Steve Wraith. It is Matchday Live. Newcastle United at Manchester City today in the Premier League after the highs and lows of the Carabao Cup final last week. Delighted to say I am joined today by John Bon Jordi.
Hell yeah!
Giving Darth Vader a much earned rest this week, and John Bon Jordi's in. Darren, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to George as well.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Quick look at the teams. We'll start with the home team first today. Lineup: Edison, Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Ake, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Foden, Grealish, and Haaland. Gone full strength, not taking this game lightly. Obviously, with an opportunity potentially of winning the title, Man City, of course, and Newcastle United. Well, a few raised eyebrows, I'd have to say, at the team news. They greeted this at 11:30. Nick Pope returns as expected. Kieran Trippier is in alongside captain for today, Jamal Lascelles, Sven Botman, Dan Burn, Bruno, Sean Longstaff, Joe Linton, Miggy Almiron, Anthony Gordon makes his first Newcastle United start, and Callum Wilson keeps his place ahead of Isak, which has caused a bit of debate on social media. On the bench, Karius returns to the backwaters of Newcastle United. Dubravka is back on the bench. ASM is on the bench too, alongside Richie, Target, Isak, Manquillo, Murphy, Willock, and Anderson. So that's your starting lineup. The reason that there is no Fabian Schär is he had a slight concussion at Wembley last week. Eddie Howe has just explained that in his interview on BT Sports today, where you can watch the game live. So over to you, John Von Jordi. Give us your views on that lineup, that team today. Could he have done anything different, do you think, in your mind? I mean, a lot of people pushing for Isak to start. Some feeling that Dan Burn could have maybe slotted into centre half and played Matt Target at left back. A couple of strange, team announcements today, I felt.
Hell yeah, Steve! Lex is yeah, no. It's yes, Lex is like we were talking about before, like Target on the left, pushing Burn into the middle. I would like to see Big Dan Burn with Botman together. Like I would like to see that, and like to see Isaac playing him out wide, because it doesn't work. Like he's not a number 9, so he can't play in that way. Seen him on the wide, like his ability to get it in, he'd be able to get crosses in. That's what I expected. Like we said Gordon's in, so it is pretty much. But like Lascelles, we'll see how it goes. He was talking. I'm just listening to him there. He's talking about we've got a strong bench, and with Target, like he says, you've got Isaac on the bench. Like this, so to bring on changes maybe, but like says, I would have probably thought he would have went the other way. But it's Eddie's team. That's his choices. So we'll see. I think this is kind of like after a free shot after the cup. I'm not really expecting much like his, but we'll see. Get something out of this, then we'll just push on with the rest of the season. So we'll see.
Okay, Darren, what's your views on the lineup, mate?
I was hoping for a draw, but when you see Jamal Lascelles being like, oh Christ, because the fact he's got a mistake in him somewhere, but we just got to go for it. You know what I mean? Just gone down fighting and just give a performance. Just bounce back if we can. You know what I mean? That's the most that's the most you can ask for, can't you?
Yeah, you sound about as down as me on the game, Darren. I've got to be perfectly honest. George, your views on that
team lineup?
Well, some surprises. I mean, a lot of discussion between us all last week about whether Target should be in the left and Dan Burn moved into the middle. I think Lascelles is there because of Haaland, isn't he? That's what that's about, surely. So that they're going to double up on Haaland to make sure he doesn't get free rein. The other thing is, of course, it's Mac Target does lots of things on the left and can move forward possibly better than Dan Burn. He does tend to be a bit suspect on the high balls. So that's what that's about for me. I think Lascelles is there simply because of Haaland. Great to see Anthony Gordon starting. I think I'd made it plain during the week. I'd like to have seen Isak starting, even at the expense of Wilson, in my view. But in terms of the bench, well, he has got a strong bench because he could replace nearly the midfield and the couple of wide players all sitting on the bench. So he could bring Willock on, he could bring others on as well. So yeah, it's a not quite as expected because he's obviously designed it because it's Manchester City, but I'm still hopeful that we'll get a point out of the game.
Steve, can I just say one thing there? The one thing that Lascelles has is he does score from corners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing over. Like the rest, he has scored from corners before. He can do it. So possibly that's a positive as well.
He's 50-1 for the first goal.
Yeah.
Lascelles.
Yeah, never say never. Never say never. I think a lot of people, wondering, I mean, I know Maxi splits the supporters. A lot of people thinking, well, should Maxi not have started? He did basically run rings around Walker in the home game. But
Yeah.
I mean, as Eddie Howe said in his press conference, that was a different part of the season. Things do change. And I'm sure that Man City would certainly look at that. They'll have a way of counteracting St. Maximin. So maybe, having him on the bench and the element of surprise isn't a bad thing. But, let's let Eddie pick the team. Okay, we've got 8 minutes till kickoff. As always, we have Toon Stato giving us his views and rundown on today's game.
Hello lads, greetings from Piazza di Spagna in Rome, one of the few places that I haven't sent any stats for Newcastle this season, but here am I. We're traveling to the Etihad on Saturday, our least favorite venue in the Premier League. We're going to play for the 18th time there. We have only drawn twice, won once in the League Cup back in 2014, and we have lost all the other games. They have beaten us 13 times in a row at the Etihad in the league, which is a record. Only Everton against Fulham are on a longer run with 14. Manchester City also have scored in 28 consecutive league games against Newcastle ever since the 0-0 draw back in 2006. Steve Harper being the last goalkeeper who kept a clean sheet against them. On the other hand, we are the team that has conceded first in a game, the least of all teams in the Premier League, only 5 times. However, whenever we concede first, we are one of the clubs that has never won a game in the league this season. When it comes to players, Joelinton is on 9 yellow cards, and you know that if he gets a 10th, he'll miss the next 2 games. He needs to avoid a yellow card in the next 9 games in order for the potential ban to be withdrawn. When it comes to away games, Newcastle is unbeaten in 8, which is our best ever season in the Premier League. Our record ever is 10 in 1907, 1908. So if we avoid a defeat tomorrow, we are on course to set a record in the next 2 or 3 away games. Let's see what will happen on Saturday. Away the lads. Cheers.
Yeah, it's not a happy hunting ground, chaps. That's for certain. People in the chat though want us to be positive. Nick says Lascelles last outing against Liverpool away, he had a really good game, so let's not knock him yet. Even he have learned under Eddie. Exactly, Nick. He has a lot to prove. Says Mozza. Lascelles can potentially get us that headed goal we crave. Says Les, agreeing with John there. I've got so many different names for you. And yeah, Mozza's off to Jamaica soon on Tuesday. So I hope you have a great time out there and a safe trip. Dave, no, I've got quite a few things going on, mate. I'm busy working on a second script at the minute, mate. So a lot of time is spent on doing that. But yeah, I do go, mate, but haven't been to as many this season. Okay, 5 minutes to go. The stadium is filling up nicely. Of course, the game is live on BT. We will be talking you through the game tonight. And It's great to see Rafa Benitez on the coverage as well. Just listening to Rafa talk, he's putting himself at a lot of these Newcastle games. I wonder if he's breathing down Eddie Howe's neck and hoping he gets a second chance of coming back to Newcastle. I think it's.
No, I don't want Rafa back.
I know you don't, but yeah, you always wonder why ex-managers do that, and he's very complimentary. He's always very complimentary about the owners, and it would be interesting to see what happens in the future. Let's just briefly talk about the record we've got at Man City. I guess it's got to be broken sometime, hasn't it, Vince? You've got to look at it with a positive mindset. It doesn't stay the same forever. Manchester City can have an off day. Newcastle can hit the heights that they've hit earlier on in the season. Might not be all lost as the teams line up in the tunnel. With Man City, it has to be said, sporting a horrific tracksuit top. I've never seen anything like that since I had a packet of Pacers back in the 1980s. But yeah, Vince, go on. You never know, do you, in football? It throws up some funny results.
No, and that's the beauty of it. That's why we like it so much. If it was just all every time going, oh, we're going to lose there, you're going to lose there, it'd be boring, wouldn't it? Like, so that's it. Variety is space life, and it's got to end sometime. And like says, Man City have been hit and miss this season. Like says, even with Holland up front. Like says, they have been hit and miss, so you never know. In the chance and all that, yeah. Like says, I mean, we've always got a chance, and the way like says they performed under Eddie this season, the battle, give the hearts out, and even I wouldn't wear that tracksuit top, Steve. Like says, but I like says, no, that's the whole. That's why we love football. That's why we keep coming, because that's it. Like says, and in the end of the day, it's 11 men versus 11, and if they're switched on, if they're not, like says, who's switched on, who's ready, who prepares for it best. And that's why we love it. Like I said, so yeah, positivity, that there is a chance. Like I said, yeah, so just come on, tsunami.
Teams lined up on the pitch now, going through all the last minute formalities. Darren and as they run through the teams again. I mean, look, you just never know in football, do you? I mean, Anthony Gordon starting today, that's a massive positive for Newcastle.
Yeah, massive start. I was glad to see him start, to be fair. Like, he needs a chance now. I think Eddie Howe said in the press conference he wasn't 100% fit, but now he's had his time. Now he's match fit for Eddie Howe standards. So it's a good sign that Anthony Gordon's playing. Just go out there, just give it all, lads. The worst time we're going to get beat, but I don't mind getting beat if you see the players tried. That's all I ask for. 100%. It's going to give 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Gordon, for you, George, it's a lot of money to spend on a player, and he's you don't want to leave him sitting on the bench. Yet he's letting Alexander Isak sit on the bench, and I thought he played well when he came on. I'm scratching my head a little bit of that, showing a bit of loyalty to Wilson. Mark Byers mentioned it earlier in the chat.
Well, there's loyalty and loyalty, but I've got to say, as I said last night, if ASM had played as poorly for 6 games as Wilson had, ASM would have been getting slaughtered on here. Over and over again, he would have been getting torn to pieces, and yet Callum Wilson slides through it all. And I think I said on Sunday, first time I've seen Newcastle go to Wembley without a centre forward. I mean, that really is how it felt for me, and I was disappointed. Granted, the lad may have some issues after COVID and all the rest of it, but well, let's get them sorted out and not put him in a position where he's having to try and play half fit, as it were. So but the other side is that when it kicks off, it's 11v11, and all these records are there to be broken. How many did we break last year by surviving relegation? It was an awful lot of them. Let's break another one today and not lose it at Manchester again.
Yeah.
See, they got that Diaz defence. He's not that great, That Aki, he's not a great defender. So if Amron get at him, anything can happen. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Aki's one of these players who is good going forward, but he's not necessarily a good defender.
Exactly, George.
So there's gaps to be exploited, in my view, and particularly with pace, because Kyle Walker's no longer one of the fastest right backs in the league, as Almiron and ESM showed when they were up here early in the season. You know, he wasn't even Willock outpaced him a couple of times when they were up here. So there's space to be exploited, and we've got the pace to do it if we put our mind to it.
Well, they're playing a strange formation, 3-2-4-1. Man City's a strange formation they're playing.
Yeah, well, the teams are on the pitch, lined up now. All the formalities done, and Newcastle United kicking off at the Etihad. Not a happy hunting ground.
I'm probably just behind you, like that, because I'm on a dodgy channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, not
Darren, shh, the police will get you. Right.
Good afternoon, Morris. Might be morning where you are, but well into the afternoon here. 12:30 now as the referee gets into the centre circle, getting ready to take the nod from the BT Sports guys.
Come on, lads. Come on. Good
Come
performance.
on. Tsunami.
The key here, lads, really is as Haaland kicks off, is not conceding that early goal. Manchester City, in so many home games, they always seem to score in the first 5 minutes. Newcastle United conceded a goal in the first 5 minutes. It would be an absolute nightmare. But early mistake there from Manchester City. Leads to a Burn throw in on the left-hand side. He's telling people to get up and get into the box, as is Bruno. Burn seems to be specialising in long throws these days, lads.
Yeah.
Wonder if we're going to see a Steve Watson over throw in. Long ball into the long throw in goes into the box. It's cleared by Man City, but won again by Newcastle in midfield. Overrun though again. Newcastle. Haaland plays the ball out wide. Manchester City on the attack, and this is dangerous already. Checks inside. Plays it to Grealish. Grealish chicks the ball in, and Manchester City have the first attempt on goal with less than a minute gone. Gundogan heads the ball onto the top netting. That's a warning. That is a warning. And this is the thing. Manchester City start well, don't they, Vince? They always start well at home.
Well, yeah, like I mean, they've got talented players. De Bruyne, Gundogan, the midfielders and all that. But the hate of Gundogan, he shouldn't be winning a bloody header in the box there. You know what I mean? He's not.
It was a free. To be fair, it was a free header. Botman
player. Gundogan knows a very, very clever player. You watch him.
No, that's he's skillful. You've seen. Well, Lascelles stepped on. Lascelles should be on him there. Like that's he stepped off him. He's obviously trying to cover the lane, but like just win the header and just get it out.
Botman was a mile off, and
we're going in again. Joe Linton through there. Oh, come on, man, Wilson, wake up!
Ball cleared back.
Again, that was Joe Linton with the ball. Wilson just had to let it roll and go through him, but he turned, he stopped, and it's weird, man. He's just not himself. It doesn't seem it.
Is the stadium full?
Is Steve gone? I think so.
It looks pretty full, like George. Like that's good for them. That's good for their mind on the Sellout crowd. Like, to be fair, I didn't know the other way there.
Have you heard that they're going to make it bigger? They says they're going to put an upper tier on and try and go for 60,000.
I can tell home games now, and I mean make it bigger.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
I'm going to say, who's going to go and watch them, because they don't at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They're struggling to get sellouts now as it is.
Well, I cringe when I watch their European games and see empty seats. It just drives me dirty. That just can't believe it.
I was there against Fulham. Got me mate got ticket for the corporate section. The amount of empty seats you're seeing around in the boxes around there was unbelievable. Just empty seats all over. They were quiet too.
So 3 minutes gone. Newcastle United still 0-0 at Manchester City. Miggy's got the ball on the right-hand side.
He's offside.
Knocks the ball back to Longstaff, and the ball goes out for a corner.
It's a good job didn't get it, Miggy, because he was offside there. But him.
yeah, he was. I mean, look, we had a warning there earlier on with Gundogan said Newcastle now got a corner. Let's hope they can learn on this. Where's Lascelles?
Come on, Captain.
Botman's due a goal, Steve.
He is. Lascelles is in the back. Is Lascelles anywhere near it, or have they left him at the back?
No, he's there. That's him, I think, isn't it? Oh!
Great header, by the way, from Lascelles right across. Newcastle still fighting for the ball here. Grealish has took it down on the right-hand side.
Down Bruno closed.
And he's won a corner. No, he's won a goal kick, sorry, off Bruno. Yeah, that was great. Newcastle showing a bit of invention at a corner. Long drifting ball. Lascelles won the header, and a combination of Haaland and somebody else cleared the ball off the line, and it beat the keeper all ends up. So yeah, that was good, lads. And we've been talking about Newcastle doing better from corners.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Lascelles has been brought in.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I could be. Yeah, like it says, Lascelles has scored. He's got the ability to score. He's big, he's powerful, and he gets in there. We've got big lads, but we haven't been very successful at corners.
He's certainly got the
like
record.
that's probably why. Yeah,
He's certainly got the record over the years. Hasn't
come on. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
See, I wonder why they don't change. Like, say, after a while, Trippier took all the free kicks. Why not change it? Give like a fresh taker a go, because I just seen Kieran Trippier just does the same.
Yeah.
All the way through the match, is like change it a bit.
But like I said, if he does it in training, if he's hitting it all the time, and then Eddie Howe's not seeing it from the rest, it's probably what it is. So that's why he takes him. You know what I mean? So we don't do it, which goes on training and stuff like that. So it's possibly, you know what I mean?
Day itself, though, you can do it in train, but it's on the day itself.
Yeah.
I mean, well, but he's done it most of the time. Like it's just like says, it's just not working at the moment, but doesn't mean it won't work again. Like says, well, and that's it. Just keep trying.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the faith. Come on, Castle.
Dan Burns still playing at left back for Newcastle. Has that surprised you, lads, with Matt Targett, you know, fully fit now? You know, has it surprised you that he's left Burn in there?
Well, I think like since it's hard to drop Burn from the side because he's so enthusiastic and he gives his all, and that's what Howe sees, and he likes that. He gives everything. I do think Target's a better defender than that, like says at left back. But I would like to, like it says, I would like to see Burn in the middle of the bottom because I think that has works well. So you're not dropping Burn, you're just moving him across. Because even though he's on the left, I think him and Botman play well together anyway.
He had the opportunity to do it today, though, Vince. He had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
Do you not think because how much the ball man he's going to have this game, do you know, and clever playing Dan Burn because he's more defensive wise and Matty Target?
Yeah.
But Matty's not defending.
I still go back to what I said at the start. You've got the back lane because of Haaland.
Yeah.
They're doubling up on Haaland, aren't they?
I think you're wise to play Dan. I think you're wise to play Dan Burn. That literally see how things go. But if you want to,
ideal opportunity if you wanted to put Target in today, with having Shaw with the concussion, he could easily have put Target in and shoved Dan Burn in the middle. He's obviously got a plan as to why he's put Lascelles in. In my view, would be it's because of Haaland.
Newcastle on the attack again. Nice little interlink between John by Joe Linton and Bruno, but wasted ball by Joe Linton. He hits it with his left foot and just rolls along the ground into the path of the Manchester City defender. Couple of errors that both teams finding each other out. Couple of unusual errors, it has to be said, from Man City. Misplaced passes. Wilson almost in there from another misplaced pass by Manchester City backline, but safely in the hands or safely at the feet, of the Manchester City goalkeeper. And Newcastle United still 0-0. 7.5 minutes gone.
If anything, Steve, it's more pressure on Man City because they've got to win, don't they? They've got to win because they can't afford a draw against how Arsenal's doing. So getting more pressure on them.
No, I would agree. I would agree. I mean, look, there's pressure on both teams. I think it'd be interesting to see how Newcastle react. Are they going to have a Carabao Cup hangover, or are they going to get focused on the league? I mean, a point at Manchester City would be a good point, for Newcastle. Not to lose the game would be amazing.
Yeah.
Morris Kennedy says, I haven't heard Gordon's name mentioned. He's hugging the left. He's come inside a bit more now for the for the ball, but hasn't had much to do so far. A lot of it's been in the centre of the pitch, and Newcastle have an advantage. Bruno's got the ball on the halfway line. Puts the ball through to Gordon. Here he is now. Gordon's on the left-hand side.
Is that a foul?
Miskicks it. It was a miskick.
He just missed it. I think he just missed the ball, did he?
He went with his left, and I think the ball hit his right.
Yeah.
That was it. Joe Linton's gone down on in the middle of the pitch there. I don't know what happened.
I've
we'll
seen
just
him
get
go
a
down
close-
before. Yeah.
Oh, he slipped.
Oh,
Gordon slipped.
he slipped.
Gordon slipped. He was one on one. He was one on one with Walker, really. And his standing foot went, and he basically clipped the ball with his standing foot, and he tried to hit it with his left, and that was it. Willock's getting warmed up. Joe Linton's gone down. We didn't really see what happened there. It looked like a fairly innocuous slip again. He's not in agony. He's not in too much pain. The physio's on.
Big Joe. He's not going to be.
But Willock's getting warmed up, so we'll wait and see. The doctor's having a chat with Eddie Howe, but Joe Linton's back on his feet. He's hard as nails, lads. He's hard
Exactly.
as
Yeah.
nails. Yeah. And just focusing again on how it happened. It was a little collision actually with Foden, which when Foden was coming through with the ball, Joe Linton went in, and that's it. But he's walking to the halfway line, getting ready to come back on. So no problems with Joe Linton. But yeah, Morris had said we hadn't heard Gordon's name. We had a flash of Gordon there, and he wasn't too bad, to be fair. Just a little slip put him off, unfortunately.
He's got the pace to upset Walker, Kyle Walker.
At least we're pressure as a nugs. Like we're not just sitting back. That's one good thing.
Yeah.
Like, at least we're like we're
well,
trying.
Eddie won't let them. Yeah, it's not how Eddie Howe does it, is it?
On that other manager, they would sit back 100%.
Oh, go on. That's better play. That's some good play there.
Yeah, Bruno with a lovely ball with the outside of his foot to Joe Linton, who chips the ball back into the middle. Longstaff tries to flick the ball on, but it's into the feet of Jack Grealish, who's got the ball on the halfway line. And all centre midfield this. Bruno makes a challenge to try and win the ball back, but Man City ride the challenge and get back through. And there's a long ball over the top to Haaland, who gets between the two centre-halves. Lascelles did enough there just to put him off.
And out again, yeah. Close him.
Gundogan on the edge of the box.
And that's a dive.
It was a bit of a reckless challenge by Bruno, it has to be said.
Yeah, I think he went in, but I think he moved and
he went with his momentum. He chested the ball down Gundogan. He got ready for the shot. Bruno went in, and he went in with his trailing foot and tripped Gundogan. As we look at the replay, looked slightly different when you watched it live.
Yeah.
He went in and he went with his back foot and he tripped him. So
it's just the way they throw themselves down. It's like try to be Superman impression. Like it just when you get kicked, you just go, my foot. You don't go wee.
Dangerous position this for Newcastle. Free kick on the edge of the box. De Bruyne's over it. Grealish is over it. Nick Pope organising his wall.
Come on, defend it, lads.
Come on, get it out.
De Bruyne's licking his lips. Definitely his this. Here we'll go. Nobody lying down. Oh, Bruno's kneeling down behind the wall as the free kick goes over the bar, and quite a harmless free kick and a wasted opportunity for Man City. That just getting a slow replay of it. Yeah, it was wide. Well wide, well over.
Covered anyway. It was gone.
6 points to Wigan, as you would say. But yeah. So here we are, 12-minute mark. Newcastle United holding that own at Manchester City. Hasn't been too bad as we welcome Barry to the stream. Hi, Barry.
Hi, you guys. You all right?
Barry.
Oh,
Barry. Yeah.
Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. What did you make of the lineup, Barry?
I mean, I understand. I watched Eddie Howe's before match press. I love the hair, by the way. Pretty much, conference. Shaw's injured. I'm still. My only thing is his reason for not playing Isaac, just saying that he's more of an asset to come off the bench and sort of make a difference from that sort of point of view. And you think, I don't know. Again, it questions his loyalty to Wilson. You think how much has Wilson got to underachieve before he actually does something about it and maybe take the chance on Isaac from the start? I feel a bit sorry for him that way because for me, Wilson looks as though he needs the rest. Isaac's chomping at the bit, ready to go. And like you guys said on the show on Friday, he's a £60 million striker who we're not playing. I don't get it. I understand Howe's loyalty, and I'm over the moon with the stuff about Fraser. Because I think, again, I think George said it ages ago when we signed Fraser that his attitude was so bad at Bournemouth, why would we touch the player? And I remember thinking then, why have we signed this guy? He's got such potential, but his attitude obviously stinks because he's basically walked out on them on his their hour in need. And however many months later, again at Newcastle, he's doing exactly the same thing. He's almost refusing to play, by the sounds of it, that he's not interested in it at all.
Is that what it is? He's refusing to play.
Well, it's just this. I'm maybe just reading between the lines. I mean, it hasn't been quoted that
he said he wasn't committed. He said he wasn't committed.
Attitude, yeah.
I'm only concentrating on players who are committed to Newcastle United.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Which you think is an awful. I don't know about you, Steve, but it's a long time since I've heard anybody say that about players at Newcastle.
Well, it's a massive change because it's only 4 weeks ago at the press conference that he said, "I can't wait to see Ryan Fraser in a black and white shirt."
Aye. So
Foden has scored. And that's Foden's third game and third goal in as many games, I think, for Manchester City.
He's playing well, like, yeah.
Botman
He just ran at them.
Botman is just scratching his head and not really realizing what on earth he's faced there. But Foden is a hell of a player, and that was a hell of a goal. And it was a jink. It was one. He cut through one, cut through two, and just sliced it over the top. This is a test of character for Newcastle. It really is, because you know they haven't been used to conceding goals. Now we're freely conceding them, and we're not scoring. And this mentally for Newcastle now, when you concede a goal, it goes through your mind, well, are we going to score? He collected the ball on the edge of the box. He went past one, went past two, and slotted it over the top of the third one and across Nick Pope. No challenge at all from Bruno in the box, and thankfully he would have been sent off.
Exactly, yeah.
One of his usual send-offs. It was
but it went wide. It's Botman goal.
Oh, not another one.
I don't know. I think that'll go down to Foden.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't know, because he was kind of putting it. I thought it was putting
camera angle. I think the camera angle looked.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, you had to make the challenge. You had to try. So you had to make the challenge. You had to put it in. Slid in. Just fortunately, he got to it, but unfortunately, not the way he wanted.
So we managed to avoid the 5-minute goal, but 15 minutes in, Newcastle United find themselves 1-0 down with a mountain to climb at Manchester City, and it's early days, says Mozza. Dear me,
yeah, it is.
Mozza, you are right. It is early days in the game.
Go on.
Newcastle need to hit back, and they need to hit back quickly, though. Newcastle,
get out the ball.
Bruno squares the ball to Burn. Burn to Gordon. Gordon moves inside.
Oh, what a ball! Go on.
Almiron. Here's Wilson. Wilson doesn't have a shot. Longstaff almost connecting, but not quite. And is the chance going big? And the ball's lofted in there. No name there from Joe Linton or Wilson, both challenging with the same ball. And Manchester City get it back, and it's a chance wasted for Newcastle.
Again, that was a class ball. Gordon cutting in from the side, and then that ball
Man City have given it away. It comes to Gordon again. Gordon tries a little trick, doesn't come off, hits the Man City player, and he gets the ball back. Slightly fortuitous there. Lascelles plays the ball forward, this time along the ground. Ball Longstaff to Bruno.
I'm just watching the goal now.
Bruno to Longstaff. Almiron with the ball in, trying to hit Wilson in the middle, but it's hooked away by the Manchester City defence, and it's Manchester City on the attack again as Haaland is set free by De Bruyne, but there's a great challenge there by Lascelles, as Vince pointed out, and Newcastle United have the ball again. Most first half goals scored in the season so far. Manchester City lead that table with 32. Newcastle have 18 first half goals. So there we go.
I think Nick Pope had that cover and Botman didn't block it.
It was definitely gone in a different direction. The connection with Botman.
You look at Nick Pope, the ball was gone first, and Botman's.
Ball comes out wide.
That's not a penalty.
Ball goes out wide to Foden. Foden hits the ball off Burn. He's claiming a penalty, and be very unlucky if that was a penalty. I was just showing the wonderful sliding tackle by Ake, which prevented Longstaff from getting his shot off. Longstaff probably would have scored there. Edison was committed. He was on his backside, and it looked like, for all intents and purposes, that would have been at least a shot on target from Longstaff, and one would imagine Edison would have saved it. It's a corner to Man City. The hands are up in the air. God only knows what it means, but the ball comes in.
I thought we had a star on the show, mind Steve. When I first switched on, I thought it was Barry Venison at the top.
Yeah, it's pretty.
PDK says it looks like Gordon's playing well. Yeah, when he gets the ball, he's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Very dangerous, it has to be said.
Benison's got better hair.
Do you think? Not anymore.
Well, used to. We'll say you two.
Pope has the ball. It's a free kick to Newcastle outside of the box. Let's hope he doesn't handle it.
Or trip over.
Or trip over. Takes a little run, and that's it. He kicks the ball out well over the halfway line.
Come on.
Wilson again looks a little bit more agile today. And
hey, Joe, go on. That's the way.
Joe Linton to Gordon. Joe Linton to Byrne. Byrne turns his back on Ford and plays the ball back to Botman, who's going to play it back to the keeper, I would imagine, and he has.
Okay.
Pope again with the ball at his feet as Haaland closes him down. Clears the ball over the halfway line to Miggy, who kicks the ball out to play.
Trippier.
And it's a throw into Manchester City. Sean says, "How long did Longstaff take before he shot?" Yeah, it was a.
I don't think it's one of them that it just wouldn't sit down for a minute.
Yeah,
it was in the air like sometimes. Pain.
Just watched it there before, like the ball didn't come. It was in the air. The ball. Oh, I just come down with prey, will you?
Don't go down at all.
Oh, Burns getting done by Foden all over the place.
Fair point.
Oh, what a!
That was a great challenge there by Botman, is it?
Yeah.
He's ran into a blind alley there, though, and given the ball away.
And Joe Linton just floored De Bruyne.
It was Gordon.
Oh, it was Gordon, was it?
Yeah.
It was the blonde top of the hair, because it's like Joe
Gordon just put De Bruyne into the crowd there. That was great. Foden's got a hell of a touch, hasn't he? What a player he is.
Yeah.
Botman ran into trouble, actually. Haaland, it was a challenge, and then Anthony Gordon came in, and that was a brilliant challenge as well. And he won the ball.
Absolute class.
You wouldn't see ASM doing that. I've got to be
no, and this is what he'll bring. So you haven't got like Joe Linton having to rely to cover for him. They can rely on Gordon to do their bit as well. So it's what you want in it. The whole team.
Next goal is going to be important in advance because if Newcastle get the next goal, we've got a game on our hands.
Yeah,
Man
different game.
Man City
game.
Man City get a goal, Vince. We're going to be up against it, aren't we?
No, definitely. But this is like the home game. City scored first, but we got straight back into it. Like this, we're not shying away. We're plodding. Like this, getting chances. Like this, if we get a goal, I think we can.
I mean, what I'm hearing from you lads is that we're having as much attack on their goal as they are on ours. So it's an even Steven game apart from the goal.
Yeah,
we're not sitting back. That's a positive thing you can say. We're not like we're getting beat, but we're not like at least we're having a go, trying to have a go and try and create something. Like in many years we've been there, we've just sat back. We won't get past that halfway line, would we?
No. Their quality up front is just blows you away. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, good God!
But there's not many teams in Europe who could boast that sort of attacking line.
Grealish up in arms because Miggy made a challenge. Interesting to see Miggy versus Almira. Miggy versus Grealish, isn't it, lads?
Oh yeah.
Steve, did you watch the Miggy interview on NUFC TV?
No, I missed that, mate. What was his crack?
It was really good. I mean, it asked him about the cup final. The only thing I didn't get was he didn't speak a word of English through the entire interview.
I know.
It was all in whatever language it was. Bless him. I don't know what
Spanish.
Spanish, is it, George? Yeah. Thanks, George. So the whole interview had subtitles along the bottom, and I thought, God, how the hell does he communicate with the team on the pitch if he can't speak a single word of English? But he was really articulate. He spoke about how bad the players feel, gutted for the fans. This asked him about what emotionally the players felt with the fans, and he just basically praised them to the heights he's ever seen.
Well,
sorry, George, go on.
That's interesting, Barry, because when he's interviewed on the telly, his English isn't bad.
I have thought that. I mean, they were hammering him with questions, like there was loads of stuff going at him. Whether that was the reason that
maybe that's why he chose Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah, probably time.
Straight away.
Asked him about Amanda's statement about we're going to win the league, we're going to win the cup. He went, well, all I can see is as a player, that's what we're aiming for. and we're so proud of our owners to be backing us like that and looking that that's the future. That's what they want for the club. He says, you know, it's been so long since we've been
I've
here.
just seen that Amron's tackle there. Like, get in there, son.
I was just so proud of him. He looked so sorry for himself to start with, and then I asked him about his new contract and obviously his thoughts of playing for them in the future. And I know Mickey comes across as such a likable guy anyway, but it was an amazing interview, Steve, if you get a chance to see it.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch.
Showed the pride from the players' side of you, but obviously how bad they feel about the result in the cup final. It was really worth a watch.
I mean, Barry, I do know you can say "why man." So like,
English. I was just surprised, like George says, maybe it was just the speed that they were hammering with questions.
Yeah,
but it's NUFC. That's the thing I can't understand. It's NUFC who's done it. Surely they can. It's not like any random person. It's NUFC who's doing the interview. But I thought you would like at least try and speak the fan of English a little bit more, and I'll translate that. But
the only thing I thought is obviously they made such a big deal of the Brazilian Paraguayan connection in midfield, the stuff between Miggy, Joe Linton, Bruno. I was wondering what sort of how fast is this communication across the pitch? Because the speed he was talking in Spanish was amazing.
I find the people who interview for Newcastle's TV channel a bit bland at times in the question, and I know you have to be certain. You know, you're probably thinking, well, we don't want to ask anything too controversial, but at the same time, I think they go too far the other way. I think sometimes the questions are just so bland that it's not worth watching.
The stay safe done so the players probably the answer what they want to easy questions basically.
I see that all the time. Top Bobby says, have your eyes improved, George?
Sadly, no. Worse, if anything.
No. Played Lascelles. That was played that strong, that.
Yeah, and I don't want to say this for 4 months, so I'm stuck like this for at least 4 months. So driving us up the wall, frankly.
Sorry to hear that, George. Lascelles has just gone one-on-one with Haaland and come out on top. Frustrating for Haaland, that, and great. That'll give Newcastle a bit of confidence. 26 minutes in, 1-0 down to Manchester City. But that will give a little bit of confidence. On Barry's comments about the Miggy interview, Les says the rumour is that Miggy can speak and understand English, but lacks confidence in a full interview, which,
well, he certainly responds in English when he's interviewed by the telly. I see him quite often.
Yeah.
So, that's probably as good an explanation as any, actually.
Yeah, I think long interviews are often different. And I mean, when you do, say a Football Focus, for example, or whatever, it can be, probably do a half an hour interview. And that may be where he struggles a little bit.
Go on, Bruno.
Bruno's got the ball. Bruno's in the middle. He's over the halfway line now, going unchallenged at the minute. A lot of finger pointing from Foden, somebody not doing their job in the midfield for Manchester City. Bruno gets the ball back to Joe Linton, who plays the ball back to Dan Burn at left back. Again, forward to Bruno. Bruno always looking for the ball. It's always positive. He plays the ball to Lascelles. Lascelles has got it now. He's going to play it across to Burn. Burn looking for an option. He's got one in
well played.
Longstaff. Gordon collects.
Away, Gordon. That's away. Go on.
Bruno with a long ball over the top onto the right-hand side to Trippier, who collects the first time, puts the ball into the box, and it's cleared by Manchester City's defender. And picked up by Gundogan. Gordon challenges Gundogan, but doesn't win that battle. The ball goes out wide now to De Bruyne. Haaland's going through the middle. He doesn't pick him out. He picks Foden out on the right-hand side. Foden now tries a little cheeky left footer and curling it around the defender and the keeper, and it comes to nothing as Burn collects the ball. Foden chases him down.
Oh, lovely.
Burn sends him for the Chronicle.
That was lovely, that was oh, no.
Bruno's down again, holding that ankle. He's holding the right ankle, and this is frustrating again to see. I don't think there's a foul. I don't think there's anything happened here. I think it's just Bruno is turned that ankle again, and this doesn't look good. 28 minutes played. Newcastle United 0, Manchester City 1.
Any reason?
Nice to see that from Burn.
Was there any mention, Steve, why Target's not in the side?
Nothing. I caught most of Eddie Howe's interview at the start, mate. And from my point of view, I think it's literally that he sees Byrne as a left back, and Byrne is still playing well. And the fact that he had the opportunity to do it today, Barry. We discussed this before he came on, but we felt if he was going to do it today, would have been the day. He probably would have played Botman and Byrne together and put Target in, but clearly sees Byrne as a left back, and he sees him as a better left back than Target. So there's not much we can do. Bruno's back on his feet, by the way. But yeah, I thought Target might have got a run out today. Maybe he's not fully fit, Barry. He's fit enough to be on the bench, but not fit enough to start.
You just think with Sharp being injured as well, it was a straightforward choice. Slide Botman in, centre half. And
Bruno is fine. He is back on the pitch. Back at the side of the pitch. Eddie Howe's talking to him, giving him a little bit of advice, telling him what to do. He looks a bit down, and I guess it's the fact that when you've been used to not losing games, that it takes a different type of mentality. This is where Eddie Howe really does have to earn his wages with certain players and with a bit of man management, especially when you're playing these big teams and you're aspiring to be one of these big teams. It's
you brought the press conference yesterday, Steve. The amount of question to repeat themselves in that press conference yesterday was a joke.
You know what? Honestly, I did the press review earlier this morning. I didn't have time to do it yesterday, and honestly, the amount of questions that they put Darren to Eddie Howe about the Saudi situation was crazy, wasn't it?
Man, they just repeat themselves like it was like one, and then somebody mentioned the same thing, just answered the question, and then they're going to on asked the same sort of question. Yeah, man. Just it was like a bingo card, wasn't it? During the things they were saying.
Well, there's something along the lines of how does Eddie communicate with Piff? How often does he speak to them? And it's like, come on, he's got about 6 levels with Eddie before he gets to that he doesn't need to speak to Piff direct. Is he going to have a hotline in his office so he can give them a ring and say, "Can I just chat to you, lads?" It was totally irrelevant question. You thought he said, "I speak to Amanda, I speak to the chairman, I speak to the guys above us, I speak to the coaching staff." He says the only time I see the highest ones is at a boardroom level meeting, and you think, well, it's a totally irrelevant question. It just I agree with you guys. There
was a little bit of handbags there between Akanji and Wilson on the sidelines. Pep decided to jog over and just act as peacemaker, which came off all right. Balls on the halfway line, 31 minutes played, Newcastle losing 1-0. But yeah, we covered it on the Amigos, as you would have imagined, for an hour and the first part of the show last night with Neil and the lads giving their opinion. And yeah, it's much ado about nothing. It really is. It's much ado about nothing. It's literally a dead cat story where, Manchester United have got this potential takeover, by the Qataris, and it's very, very obvious what has been done here, that certain journalists are just writing the stories and saying, look, remember what happened with Newcastle in their takeover? Nothing to see over here. And it's pathetic. And then asking Eddie Howe these questions where he's never going to answer them. He's never going to answer them. And he answers them with professionalism, doesn't he, George?
Yes, he does. And contrast that with Ten Hag being asked last week about the Qatari takeover. Was he concerned about the Qatari takeover? And Ten Hag said, "That's politics. That's nothing to do with me." Mm-hmm. And they left it. They let him get away with that. Mm-hmm. Eddie Howe's never been allowed to get away with that. Never.
Go on. Even though he gave the same answer, Edison has just come out there and flattened one of his own players as a long ball in from Trippier. Again, testing them. Oh, that's Lascelles won the header there against Edison.
Well done.
This has proved to be a good selection, by the way, so far.
That's a foul.
That did look like a foul. Joe Linton chucked to the ground. He may have gone to the ground too easy, and the referee's not even waved it away. It's just allowed play to play on. Manchester City on the break now. Down the left-hand side, De Bruyne whips the ball in, trying to find Haaland, but Lascelles is equal again and clears the ball. So far, Lascelles has had an outstanding half.
Yes. How are we?
You didn't drink it, Steve, please.
Well, we're 1-0 down. We're 1-0 down, and it was between him and Botman. It was between him and Botman for missing that, for leaving the man. So, to be honest, but other than that, he's had a good game, Darren. Yes.
Well, we've touch wood. We've kept Haaland pretty much quiet, haven't we?
Yeah.
He hasn't had a sniff, to be fair.
It's when
You
they're at
can't
the
touch
most
Woody's at
dangerous.
Nottingham Forest.
You what?
I says you can't touch Woody's at Nottingham Forest.
No, we're doing that. And now again, we're doing all right though. But that's
Oh,
we're not playing bad. We're doing all right. We're giving a
talking
good
about. We are. Mm-hmm. They are.
Well, just sitting here, I get from you that we're doing as much as attacking as they are. You know.
Yeah,
Right.
George.
It's we're not,
Kind
like,
of
we're not
end.
sitting back,
It's,
George. That's one good thing. Like, like previous year, we used to sit back in their half and let them come to us. We're not doing that. We're trying.
With this setup, we would crucify. We're trying to sit back.
Yeah. Jesus.
We're not doing that. We're having to go, George. To be fair, we're doing. Oh, lovely freaking. But just when they're on the counter attack.
Oh, how that's a shove in the back. Look at your two hands. You can't do that, Grealish.
Just trying to keep
I've got a better hairband than him.
Keeping an eye on Bruno. Yeah, Trippier's having a chat with Bruno. Bruno clearly is struggling. Yeah, that was a push in the back, double push in the back by Grealish on Trippier. It's a free kick to Newcastle, and got to keep an eye on Bruno here. As Maurice Kennedy says, he is struggling. It does look as if we could be in that situation again where we're
struggling. You take one of those cheekily, you're gonna make it worse if you keep him on, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, the communication's clearly going on between him, Trippier, and the bench. You know, you have to go with what the player says if he feels he's okay. But they're going to have a look at this, I think, and this could be, as you said, Darren, it could do more long-term damage.
And I like Bruno, but it's no point even a little negative of a turn when he's running. And I Bruno not want to come out because he's that sort of guy. But he's going to make it worse and miss more games, get him off.
I'd rather have a fifth.
I think that's why he looks upset. I think he knows he's hurt again, and he's getting frustrated. Like, because he wants to obviously play on, and that's it. It's just it's a nightmare. But we don't want to get him. We don't want to be out for long. Hopefully, it's a quick fix.
Yeah, Newcastle having a lot of possession as usual. That's become almost par for the course with Newcastle United games now. I mean, as you would imagine, 60% possession for Manchester City.
Oh, God!
Oh, it's a chance, and that is wasted by Wilson. Wasted by Wilson. Oh. What on earth was he thinking of? Made the complete wrong option there. That should have been a goal. Bruno's got the ball on the edge of the box. The attack isn't over yet. He flicks the ball to Longstaff at the edge of the box. He plays it wide to Trippier. Trippier jinks the ball in. Comes to Longstaff in the box now. Bruno tries to play a little bit of interchange with Longstaff, but Manchester City.
Wilson should have scored there,
He should have, yes. There is no doubt about it.
That was worked so well. That was worked so well that it.
Yeah, that should have been a goal. That should have been 1-1.
Would Isaac have put that away?
It's a big question, and you can see that he
Wilson's
has.
doing it. Is that Wilson that's down?
Somebody's down there. I'm not sure who it is. It's not Bruno anyway.
No. That's easy.
Wasted ball there by Manchester City. Lofted towards Haaland, too far wide. It's Wilson who's got a knock on the back of his ankle, not his hamstring, thankfully. But he did take a knock there.
Onside by a mile, aye. Great play that is.
It looked like it was a header across by Trippier. It was. And
how did he not hit that?
He actually caught it with his studs. He took his eye off the ball. He caught it with his studs instead of his foot, so he didn't get a shot on target, and that's it. Man City on the attack anyway. De Bruyne has got the ball, plays it back to Gundogan. It's a good link-up play with Man City in there, but they're not really doing anything with it at the moment. Steve,
for me, that shows confidence because he is a great finisher.
Yeah,
that for me should
Wilson.
Oh yeah, you've just seen it there.
He doesn't even know he's going to get a shot on goal. He's not even close to it.
Yeah.
It's a good chance that
Foden with a ball through to Haaland. Haaland slips in the box. De Bruyne whips it in. Newcastle clear the lines again, but it's straight back to De Bruyne on the right-hand side.
Go on.
Walker's got the ball now. Gordon chasing him down. Walker plays it back into his own half with Gordon chasing him. So it's back with the centre.
See, look at the Man City players in their half. How much you're pressing them? That's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
When was the last time you seen that many Man City players in their half?
Right.
So if they go,
the more times you watch the Wilson one back, the worse it gets.
It does. 6 minutes to go at half time. Newcastle still losing by 1-0. Joe goes through the back of Foden there. Doesn't take him out. Just reminds him that he's there. Walker's got the throw in.
George, can I borrow your eyes? I don't know how much of this
That's played. Hassel's like Holland. Strong there.
Oh, Wilson. Oh, does it? It's worse.
Bruno goes in hard on Holland, and Holland's won a corner for Manchester City. What do you guys make of the new camera that the companies are using? The one that floats across the pitch?
It puts me off the game.
It puts me off as well.
Yeah. It's a bit
very, very off-putting, isn't it? Especially at Wembley.
Away, lads.
Against Liverpool too. I was watching that more. I was watching the game.
Yeah, it does get in the way.
Yes.
Well, it's
what
to do on is what happened to one in the American football game, and the controls all snapped, the wires all snapped, and it hit somebody in the crowd, and they're getting a fortune in compound.
I'm surprised. It looks a fair height of how high it goes and all that.
Yeah. Well, they've got one in hockey as well, and had one in the game where one of the players smashed it and destroyed it with a puck.
In one of the WhatsApp groups I'm in, my mate says Chris Wood would have scored that, and Victoria Wood would have got it on target at least.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I was going to say, Steve, like, is what we're putting out about all of the press and all asking questions, because Liverpool have banned some journalists and stuff like that. Can they not can the club say, look, right, ask one question, not continue the if you get it, that's it, but don't continue to push it, or threaten, say, look, if you keep continuing the same vein, then you're possibly not going to be in the room.
And but that gives them strength to say, well, look,
it's a double-edged sword. It's easy to say you're hiding something if you do that.
You've given them the chance to say, well, why you don't know him, Corey? And it's just creating press for the negative reason you don't want to.
But it's true. But they've had enough chat, they've done it over and over again. You can't have to say, look, ask another question.
But the thing is, I was going to do it. Unfortunately, I think he's going to accept it.
I did like Howe's comment and said, well, should there not be somebody who comes out who addresses these sort of issues? And Eddie turned around and went, well, did you not see Amanda's interview yesterday?
Yeah. That's it. Exactly. I know.
You had to double check as well, but he was right. He was right.
So they're not doing their homework. They're just giving these dodgy questions to ask.
Well, because it's us. That's why.
Trippier's just put Grealish on his backside there, and he's not getting the lickings of a dog off the referee. The referee clearly not a fan of Jack Grealish. He's got his pet lip on now because Trippier took him out. Who's got a wry smile on his face.
I love it.
We'll be getting stick because he's got a black hairband on. It's if anybody spots any white on it, it'll be biased.
He's funny, isn't he? That Trippier, mind. He's absolutely hilarious.
Class man, he loved it, didn't he? He just loves it.
He's it's just a wind up. Of course, they'll be together in the England squad as well. They'll probably have a laugh about this. But he's not getting much change out of Trippier. That's for certain.
No.
At least we're pressing. That's one good thing we're doing.
I'm still going for it.
43 minutes played. Newcastle United 1-0 down to Manchester City. No great shame in that, to be fair.
No, we've played well. We've not sat back. We've pushed on them. We've defended well. Apart from the goal was just one chance. Foden break me down. But other than that, we've played well. We've created chances, and it should be 1-1. Wilson should have scored that.
We've seen a few flashes from Anthony Gordon in the half as well, which would be
true. Yeah, he keeps his pace is really fast. Well, he just gets away from him.
In terms of clear-cut chances, we've had Longstaff should have scored, and Wilson should have scored.
Yeah.
That's more than they've had.
A positive thing, if we
Yeah,
go
offside,
down,
Mickey, get back on.
going 1-0 down is a positive thing, I think, because if you went in 2-0 against Man City first half, you know, you're kind of getting beat, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
So going 1-0 down first half, it's not too bad, to be fair. And I still getting beat, but so you still like some belief in the change of way until we still get something.
Definitely. Yeah, like they're playing well.
Thing is, who else in the Premier League could turn City over?
And this is it as well. If it
Brentford.
stays this way, then we've got, like, says Eddie Houses, we've got a strong bench to bring on. You've got, like, Isaac to bring on. You've got, like say Maxim, but like says at the moment with Gordon, I don't think you need him. But if Miggy doesn't pick it up, you could put Maxim on the right.
Well,
like says, you've got opportunity, you've got choices to make and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mickey's done now really first half. You haven't seen much of Mickey.
No, get in. that was just that was bad. He's just strong as an ox.
Fair play to Lascelles. He has come in with a bit between his teeth, and you know, he's done well. He has done well.
Yeah.
The physicality of City is sometimes underestimated, and he's come in and he's dealt with it, and he's ruffled Haaland's feathers. He's put De Bruyne on his backside. He's challenged everyone and anyone, and he's had a good game, Lascelles, to be fair, so far.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 minutes of injury time. And we're into that now as the ball goes back to Edison, and Manchester City content just to stroke the ball backwards and forwards to the centre halves and back to the goalkeeper as Miggy comes and chases him down, tries to put a bit of pressure on. He's joined by Bruno, keeping them pinned in there, and Man City centre half panicking a little bit, but manages to clear the ball. Newcastle harry and chase to and win the ball back, and it's Wilson out wide who plays it to Bruno. Bruno sees Gordon. Gordon plays it back to Joe Linton.
Gordon.
Back to Gordon again. Turns Walker once, twice, passes it past the referee. Bruno chips the ball into the back post, and there's Miggy arriving at the back post. And 2 or 3 months ago, that would have been flying.
I think he should have put it back across because I think the angle was a bit tight there. But
he was offside anyway. He was offside.
Good ball.
It was a nice bit of interchange.
Oh, he's offside.
Yeah, he's offside. It was a nice bit of play that between.
But at least he's still going for that chance, and that's what you want. You want to see them like not head down, keep going, keep trying, and that's what it is. You miss, just keep going, give it another shot. And
that's another clear-cut chance that I'm seeing from. All right, it was offside that I'm hearing from you lads, which means we're not doing too badly by the look of it, by the sound of it. Anyway.
Yeah. Possession's almost evened out. It's 56% possession to Man City, 44% to Newcastle as Miggy pushes Jack Grealish away from the ball again. But Newcastle have had 2 shots on target to Man City 6.
Wow.
Clear-cut chances 2 for City, none for Newcastle. No saves to make for either keeper.
No.
Newcastle, come on, 5-3 on fouls. But yeah, look, it's half time. Newcastle United 1-0 down, as I said earlier. No shame in that. We'll give the lads a little break by going to the ads. A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at skipsandbins.com. Telephone 0800 25 45 25 3. Email inquiries at skipsandbins.com. Easy contract, free and pay as you go, waste collection. Thanks to Mr. Vicky's sauces, which are handmade in Cumbria. You can order them from mrvickys.co.uk or by calling 01768 210 102. Welcome aboard to Fruy Vita Getaways. You can email them at fruivitagetaways@gmail.com. Call or text them 0792 842 7895. Please join and share their Facebook group as well at Fruy Vita Getaways. Book your holidays or short breaks in the UK or around the world with them. Let them find your happy place. ABTA and ATOL registered. Thanks to Media Arts for all the help with the video side of things. And thanks to qtechshop.co.uk, the makers of pool tables and snooker tables in Wallsend, Newcastle. And the guys who run our website, nufcmatters.com, where you can buy lots of t-shirts and merchandise. If you want to subscribe to the show, hit the subscribe button underneath this video today. It is free to do so. Hit the thumb up to like the video. It's good for the algorithm. And click share to share to your other social media. If you do subscribe, we do send you a free car sticker. To get that, email john@nufcmatters.com and he'll post you one out. If you want to join the NUFC Matters cult, then put your smartphone over this QR code now and it will take you straight there. Alternatively, go to the website, nufcmatters.com, and you can join for a one-off payment of £25. You'll receive a cup, a pen, a membership card, and a scarf, and entry into the monthly draw. You can also join via YouTube, and if you click join beneath the video, you will see a variety of prices and how you can support the channel. You can alternatively make a donation with a super chat in the chat tonight. Just click the $sign. We're also available on iTunes and Spotify and other podcast providers. We also help the food bank on this show. NUFCfansfoodbank.co.uk is where you'll find the matchday bucket and you can make a virtual donation 365 days of the year. As always, we've got a whole host of events coming up throughout the year. An evening with Nobby Solano takes place on Saturday, the 25th of March at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets £15. Book now at nufcmatters.com. An evening with Peter Beardsley at Leamington Labour Club. Tickets are £20. 31st of March. And you can get them direct from the venue. An evening with Nobby Solano. Good Friday, the 7th of April at 4 p.m. Tickets are a tenner and available behind the bar at Felling Cricket Club in Gateshead. An evening with Supermac, hosted by Gibbo at the Tynemouth Surf Cafe, Tuesday the 11th of April. And tickets direct from the venue. This is a limited ticket event, only 35 tickets available, so book soon. And an evening with Frank Clark and John Gibson, Thursday the 20th of April. Tickets are £15. Book now at nufcmatters.com. In June, Rob Lee will be at Louis Liquor Store in Newcastle, and you can get tickets direct from the venue. And an evening with Rob Lee, Lee Clark, John Beresford takes place the following evening, Friday the 2nd of June at the Grand Hotel in Gosforth. This is in aid of the Heel and Toe charity, and tickets are available from their website, www.heelandtoe.org.uk/events. And if you're a boxing fan, the Night of Champions comes to Gateshead at the Fed. Frank Bruno, Ricky Hatton, Nigel Benn and Joe Calzaghe are part of the UK tour, and you can get your tickets from www.goldstarpromotions.co.uk. Okay, half-time, Newcastle United are losing by 1-0 at Manchester City. What's your take on the first half, Vince, overall?
Apart from the goal, it was there was just like phoning out a chance and all that there, but we've been strong in defence. Lascelles, played really well. We've been handling Holland well. And we've not sat back. We've had a go. We've created chances. When we're letting them know we're in this game. Grealish is not getting much joy. On the right hand side. We're in it. We're doing well. Apart from the goal, I think we've done really well. It should be 1-1. Wilson, that's a chance. That's just bread and butter for him, and it's just but no, we've created good chances, and we're doing well. Gordon's having a good game. Joelinton's playing well. They're all they're linking up. Good playing, yeah. Doing really, really well. I'd like to see come out. Maybe get Isaac on and see what can happen.
What changes would you make, George? Would you keep it as it is, and keep the momentum going for now, or would you make any?
While they're playing the way they are, I wouldn't be tempted to change it yet. But another 10 minutes, if things don't change, then that for me would be the opportunity to try something different. And Isaac is the obvious choice with his pace, and the question is who goes for him. It may be that he rests Miggy and give Isaac a run on the right, because his pace, there's no doubt about it. That goal he set up at Southampton with his pace, he roasted the defender. Well, he could do the same there with them, because As I said earlier, Aki's a great moving forward, but he has his moments at the back where he's not quite so firm. So yeah, I would leave it for 10 minutes and then I'd think about changing it.
Okay, Barry.
I think my only obviously is Bruno. I think they'll be hurriedly looking at him during half time to see whether it is something that he can carry on. Because I would hate to think he gets injured in this game, and we've got 2 or 3 winnable games coming up. I would happily take him off now and just try and get to the end of this game and then play him in the next couple. I think George is right. I think Isak comes on. The question is, do you stick him up front instead of Wilson, who's doesn't look there? He doesn't look as though he's ready to go again, even though Howe said in his press conference he was fully fit, which I was surprised at. I thought this kind of be the same guy who's fully fit with his ability that he's got. He's a natural goal scorer, and he just doesn't. He doesn't have the speed he normally has. He doesn't have the confidence. So there's something not right. It's the question, isn't it? If Bruno has to come off, do you stick Anderson on? Who else do you play in midfield? I'd be surprised if Willock's fit, but may well last the second half. I'm waiting desperately, Steve, to hope that Bruno's not missing second half. Because I think we are. I agree. I think we're taking it to them. We're battling. My only concern is who can score. If Wilson's not putting the chances away, we need to find a goal from somewhere else.
Okay, Darren, thoughts on the first half and any changes that you might make?
We weren't too bad first half, to be fair. We've done all right. We didn't sit back. We had a go at least, and we should have scored, or we should have scored at least one. The only changes, I kind of agree with Barry. If any inkling Bruno's hurt or injured, get him off, because we've got other games to come. No point in risking him at all. I would play Willock, bring him on in 15-20 minutes if it's need change. I would take Wilson and Amaran off for Wilson for ESM and Isak. That's what I would do.
Okay, for me personally, I would leave it as it is for now. But I would agree. I've got to be honest, but with taking Miggy off and Wilson off and giving Isak an opportunity and getting ASM on, you could probably even switch Gordon to the right and play and play Miggy, play ASM on the left. I don't know, that there's so many things you can do, but I would definitely take Wilson and Almiron off. Like I love Almiron to bits. His work rate's superb, but just keep them on the back foot. Keep them on the back foot. Go for the same formation. Just make those changes. But I think Isak for Wilson, and definitely take Almiron off, and bring ASM in, or bring Willock on. But you could bring Willock on and put Isak wide right, in place of Almiron.
Mm-hmm.
Take Wilson off and put Willock on up front. Anything?
Yeah.
Well, you could slip Gordon up front and put Willock on the left, because he's skinned Kyle Walker up here. Willock.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, he did. Vince, do you want to tell us why you're dressed like that? I mean, people might think you just do this for the show, but you're actually going out tonight, aren't you? Dressed like that.
My mate's got an 80s disco fancy dress party in his pub the night, so yeah, I'm going at that. And then we were just talking about the instances, right? Okay, I'll just show you just another one of my personalities. Like, they're building up. It's hard to keep them all quiet sometimes and all that and watch the match, but yeah, no, that's it. Like, she's just, I do it like she's I would say put a smile on people's faces. It's always a laugh and that, yeah.
Yeah,
I did my hair before I came on.
Yeah, I can see that, Barry. You put a lot of work and effort into that.
You can see where the. Yeah, like mine, I can see where the polishing rug goes over the top.
I'm not used to hair. This is just very unmanageable.
I think Target getting a run out's a good idea, PDK.
Yeah.
Bringing Willock and Target on at some point for fitness. Yeah, because Target's not going to get anywhere if he's just left to sit on the bench, is he, Vince? Really, to be fair, you know, you've got to get some kind of run out at some point. And you know, the pace of the Premier
League. He scored
is...
in the reserves as well, didn't he? For the other game, he had 60 minutes, scored in the reserves, so he's had a bit of a run out there. So yeah, like his I think like his because at the moment, like because Foden is just strip and burn, like getting through him and all that easily when he gets it, like his. But yeah, like his could see a bit of that. Like then this is it, like his at the moment, like his. I think the way how has worked it as well, because like he's looking at the bench and we have got like you're looking at ASM, Isaac, Willock. We've got quite a strong bench this time. You know what I mean? Like and that's what's going to that is going to be the main thing. But yeah, like that changes. It's like we'll get like this process moves on. We're going to eventually have that bench that's just as strong to bring the players on to change how like it says you can change half your team now, bringing on 5 subs. That's the thing that will change. We know this season we ain't quite got that, and that's why we're doing so well. That's why we didn't expect to be where we are. But like it's the process, but that's what will change. And in this game, like his house went like put the cells on, going on, and we've still got kind of a strong bench to bring on someone, so it's quite good. But yeah, no, Target, I think like it says you need your game time, and that's how you get it. And you got to play your players. Yeah,
this is Bruno,
like
by the
that
way.
One, Darren. That's Bruno. Lovely. I like Bruno.
I bet he's got some bite in the tackle.
How many you got, Darren? You got 2 dogs, have you?
I've got my dog and I've got my mum 2 dogs. Yes, so they'll come across the course kiosk.
Oh, right.
Quick question for you, Vince. John says, "Are you going to this do tonight as Steve Hasty?"
Oh, cruel.
Me Scooby-Doo costumes in the wardrobe. I'm not wearing that tonight.
I've been looking for solicitors for Steve Hasty. So who did his hair? I don't even want to do the barber, really.
He's got the KK cut. Good afternoon, Keith Patterson. Hope you're well, mate. Hope you're well.
Sorry, Keith.
It's listen, 1-0 down to Manchester City is no great shakes, but we've got to stop getting used to being, you know, the bridesmaid, never the bride. And I'm not just talking cup finals. In these big games, you know, we need to make sure we can get something out of them. And
well, realistically, it should be 1-1 at least.
Yeah. Should be.
We're away as well, which, you know, it's down there. It's not a home game. We don't look like the away side particularly.
No.
And that's definitely what's changed this season. Us going away, and the majority of games we've had the majority of possession of that, and that's another big thing that's changed as well.
Yeah. Somebody said before the game would have 50-50 possession with Man City at their ground.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, we're not far off. 56% possession for Man City in that half as a total. So I mean, you know, Newcastle holding their own on possession, and you know, limiting Manchester City to 6 shots at home, 1 on target, 3 off target. Obviously, they've scored, yes, but they've only had 2 clear-cut chances. So I mean, that in itself tells you what kind of game it's been. Only 1 offside. That was Newcastle caught offside today. Aerial duels 1, 6 for Man City, 4 for Newcastle, and neither goalkeepers had a save to make. Of course, you know, Pope conceding 1 goal, of course, and not many. It's not a dirty game either. You know, 9 fouls committed in the game, 5 to Newcastle, 4 to Man City. No yellow cards, no red cards. So yeah, I mean, in all, Eddie Howe will have been pleased about that, and as the teams take the pitch for the second half, we can see quite an animated conversation between Longstaff and Wilson on the halfway line. All friendly, just talking football and talking about how they can get the best out of it. And Pep Guardiola comes out and leads his team out onto the pitch for the second half. So just about ready to get the second half away. How do you see the second half going, Vince, before we kick off?
That's it. Game 2 halves, Steve. I just hope it's our half. Like it's we have played well the first half. Like it's Howe's team. We're fitter. We're strong. We can go the full 90 minutes, and I don't think we'll leave up the pressure. The press has been really good, and you've seen when Man City have been struggling with it. Them defenders, like the keeper, are a bit unsure about it, and just keep doing what they're doing, pressing on. Like and I think if we can get 1 goal, like you never know. You never know.
George, kick off.
More the same, but this time, if there's a chance comes, hit the back of the bloody net for a change, please.
Yeah, good advice. What's your feelings, Barry? Second half kicked off now.
Yeah, just keep it going. I reiterate what you guys said before. Well done to Lascelles. I'm probably one of the first ones to have a dread when he was put on the team list, and he's done us proud. He's doing really well. Just keep it going, lads. Like I said, as George says, just go for it. You know, there's plenty of players out there who can score. Just hit the back of the target, please.
Yep. And same advice, Darren. I guess we just need to score a goal. Trippier's got a free kick.
Basically, I see exactly see that the lads are covered on there. Like I say, just more the same. Just go for it. Just hope you score, not concede. That's all I could ask for, can't we?
No changes anyway. Newcastle still the same team as Trippier floats the ball in, only finds the head of a Manchester City defender, and the ball comes back out. Longstaff, who plays it to Trippier. Trippier plays a lofted ball, but it goes straight to the Manchester City back four, and Haaland picks it up, plays it wide to Grealish. Grealish picks the ball up, and Newcastle giving the ball away cheaply there, really, it has to be said. As we enter go through the first minute of the second half, yeah, Newcastle, they are hassling Manchester City. They're in their faces. They're closing them down early, and I mean that reflects on the stats that I read out for the first half there.
Yeah, no, like it's nuts, and I think that's the City players. They prefer to have loads of time in the ball, pass it, and that, and they don't like it. They don't like when teams do that, and that's again another thing. We push on them, pressure. There's just pressure all over the pitch, and it's good. It's good to see.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Man City pushing forward here. A couple of players making late runs into the box, but ball doesn't come forward. Foden has it. Uses that wonderful left foot to play the ball out to Grealish. Grealish plays it to De Bruyne on the edge of the area, but Newcastle closing down each time. Grealish has got the ball on the edge of the box. He goes down like a ton of bricks, but there's nothing doing there. It's no way that's a penalty. And the ball ends up back on the halfway line. But back in possession of Manchester City. 47 minutes played. Newcastle losing 1-0.
Come on, lads. Let's get some. Come on.
Can we stop them scoring again, says PDK? At the moment, it seems like we can, but they've got any amount of players that can open the door up front. That's the problem. They can get a goal out of nothing. When Haaland's quiet, he's at his most dangerous for me. And you can't switch off at any point.
Well, Miggy. Go on, Miggy.
Moza says we're giving the ball away quite easily. We are. That's become a bit of a problem. I found Lascelles today as being spot on, but there is Botman and Trippier again, giving the ball away, and it comes back to bite you when you're playing big teams, teams as good as Manchester City. They can punish you. We've been lucky today with a couple of those balls given away. It has to be said, though, Manchester City have done a lot of it themselves. De Bruyne, not on form today. He's done quite a bit.
Yeah, no, totally, Steve. Like, they're giving. I would say they're giving the ball away just as much as we are. Yeah. I would say it's about 50-50 with that. Like,
is that not credit Newcastle though? How good?
The press. Yeah, definitely. The pressure, definitely.
Respect over that much. Do you know what I mean? About stuff, respect. We're going to give you a game. Like, usually would show them too much respect, put them and sit back. So a bit of credit Newcastle, I would say, personally. Do you know what I mean?
It's a nice reverse pass there by Anthony Gordon to Wilson, but Manchester City managed to gain possession, but it was something a bit different. Little FB says, how has Byrne looked without ASM in front of him? What's your thoughts on that one, Vince?
I mean, Foden's a couple of times, but he's coming back into it. And I think he is coming because Gordon, when you see your other player coming back like Gordon does, he doesn't have to worry that he's going to have to, which player do I pick up? Because Gordon is tracing back, he's tracking back his man. So I think he's doing well. And when you've got every player's grafting, you think, right, okay, I don't have to think about that because Gordon's going to do his job. Then he can focus more on what he's doing. So I think he's doing well. Yeah.
Definitely a bit of an easier shift for him, George, which you would expect to be honest,
Well,
because I guess Gordon looks at this as an opportunity for him to make this position his own.
Absolutely, and the difference for me is that, for example, in the Bournemouth game, every couple of minutes, people were saying, "Oh, that's a long ball over Burn. That's a long ball over Burn." That hasn't been happening in this game, and any balls that has gone down, Burn's been equal to it. You know.
Yeah, Barry, it is a bit an easier shift for Dan Burn, isn't it?
Just watching the second half, all the ball seems to be coming down the opposite side. It seems to be then going with Trippier, in which thankfully he's holding his own against Grealish quite easily. There seems to be very little going down the Burn side of the field, which can only be good. Like you say, the pressure isn't there because he's looking comfortable. He's got that backup again. But it's then, could ASM have created something by now going forward? It's that two sides to the coin, isn't it? That ASM pulls stuff out the box that you just don't expect. Whereas Gordon so far hasn't. Yeah, he's playing okay, but he hasn't set the world alight going forward in this game.
If you play the ASM, I think Dan Burn probably feels less vulnerable in defence today because the ASM doesn't, he doesn't track back as well as Gordon has done. I think Gordon's done all right. He's been up and down, Gordon. So it's a good sign that. Helping Dan Burn out if they've been on the attack, Man City, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 51 minutes played. Newcastle United still losing by that single goal to nil scored by Phil Foden in the first half, and Newcastle holding their own. Got to be said. The next goal is going to be the most important goal, of course. It'll be interesting to see if Newcastle United can get back into this game, and when he decides to unleash Isak as well, who will, it has to be said, chomping at the bit. It's a big call to make, Vince, isn't it? Leaving a £60 million player on the bench.
It is. Well, no, it is, but you've got to trust your manager, haven't you? You've got to trust your manager to make these decisions. I mean, he's dealing to deal with like a lot of big egos and stuff like that, and they have to understand he must see things, he must know something but he's shown that he's trusting the players that are there. He's put trust in Wilson's game, but hopefully like you say, it is a brave thing to do because as a manager you're risking £60 million players being bought. We want to see more of them. But yeah, I mean, it's Eddie Howe's decision. I mean, look, they're playing well, they're holding it, but bringing him on because when he's fresh, he's fast, he's quick, could be something that could work for.
Do you think Eddie Howe thinks about that? Like you're saying, the £60 million player on the bench. You think Eddie Howe thinks about that? I don't think so. He's a manager.
No, he's just a player. Yeah,
he's a manager. He picks the team, the players. We would say £60 million, but I don't think Eddie Howe would. He's more concerned about the team and the players, how they play. I mean, I don't think Eddie Howe would think about a £60 million player on the bench. That's down to us, isn't it?
Yeah. Joe Linton's going to miss the next two games. He's 10th booking of the season, stamped on a foot there, and he's protesting, but it was, let's face it, it was a stupid challenge, and he's becoming used to this now. So 2-game suspension now for Joe Linton. Again, that gives an opportunity to Eddie to maybe try something a little bit different, because again, that's one of those blue chip players, if you like. So he will miss the next 2 games, which are Wolves at home, which is Sunday the 12th next week, and Nottingham Forest away on Friday the 17th. So it's
that's not too bad, really. You're looking at who playing Man U, like someone like that and all that. So it's probably better because he had to go 9 games without getting a yellow card. So he would have got a yellow card at some point. So I think it's probably better early on. Like you say, we've got Wolves and Nottingham Forest. You know what I mean? So
he was never going to avoid getting a yellow card in 9 games.
Never was.
He's always going to put his foot in.
Yeah, George, do you think Eddie Howe knows Isak's best position?
I doubt that because I'm not sure who does. Although I have got to remember the glowing commentary about him by Ibrahimovic, and he was singing his praises even before he came to Newcastle. So you know, we've got to start in the making, I think, because he's got the pace. It's a question of how we use him.
Yeah.
I'm inclined as I said, after that Southampton game, to play him on the right for a while, and that would give Eddie a chance to use Miggy as the dude in his national team as an attacking midfielder for a change, instead of sticking him out on the right. And you might see a different Miggy as well.
Yeah, you might do. Barry, I mean, where do you see Isak playing and cementing a place in this squad?
I think he is. I think he's an attacking right-sided forward / midfielder, which is the problem, because it's then, do you play him up front with him favouring that side of the pitch, or like George says, do you put him in Miggy's position? I just think we're missing a trick. We've got this guy who's got explosive pace. He's got natural ability. He's not even getting on the pitch at the minute. It's like we've got players right, left and centre who aren't performing very well for whatever reason. And this guy's not even getting the chance to play. It's puzzling, because you wonder whether there's something that Eddie Howe knows that we don't, why he's not getting in the starting lineup. Because Miggy's not playing well. He had that fantastic run. And as with Gordon came in long after Isaac, and he slotted nicely into the team. So the only reason he wasn't playing was because he was cup tied. I think he would have been in the team for the Man U game. Otherwise, I don't know, Steve. It's like, I don't think he's a natural striker. I think we would have to change the game if he was playing where Wilson plays, whether that's the reason that he's not getting more games. But I want to see him more. I think he's definitely worth the money that we paid for him. Like you say, it's just finding the best way for the team to use him. I mean, as with Joe Linton, we paid an absolute fortune for him as a striker. He was atrocious. As a defensive midfielder, he looks absolutely class. He looks worth the money we paid for him. We've just got to find the right position.
Got a chance here. Newcastle on the edge of the box, attacking in numbers. Gordon, deflection.
Corner, I think, was a deflection. But what happened to Trippier there? Did you see that? Got wiped out.
Is it Trippier?
Yeah.
I mean, Longstaff.
Longstaff, sorry, I thought it was Trippier. Just behind him.
Yeah, Longstaff went up for the ball. He had his eyes on the ball. Ake came in. I don't know how he collided with him and how bad it was. He's hit the ground. He hit the ground badly, but he's all right, Longstaff. He's okay.
I thought, just looked at the pace, like, when he went there, like,
He's a big lad, and he fell awkwardly. Put it that way. But that was a chance there. It's a corner for Newcastle anyway. Ake's got a card for that foul on Sean Longstaff, so it's another yellow card dished out by this referee. Darren, just while we have a little stoppage in play, it was his first booking this season, Ake. What's your views on Isak? Best position for Isak, do you think?
It's like Barry said, it's a hard one to predict, because he hasn't had much run in the team, because unfortunately he played the first couple and then he got injured out for a while. But I think I do deserve he needs a chance. He needs a chance, but whether you play him, that's the. I like him on the right hand side against Southampton. He looked good on the right hand side.
Why is Guardiola ever going Longstaff there on the side?
Oh, God,
did you see
that? At Wembley, he did look quite creative on the right hand side. To me, I want to mention on the right hand side. Unfortunately, you might have to give Mickey a rest, but it's tough loving football. You've got to play your best players in your best positions, don't you? I think he's been loyal. He just started being a bit tough, I think. But he makes the decision. I mean, I'm not going to come here and criticise Eddie, but I think you need to change it up after this game.
Yeah, certainly frustrating Haaland. Yeah, Haaland not getting much at all. And that's, the longer that continues, the better for us. But he tried an ambitious shot from the left hand side, and Botman was straight in, but that's gone behind for a goal kick. We're coming up to the hour mark. Newcastle still losing by 1-0. Pep was giving Longstaff instructions, says William. Bit of doubt over whether Botman can pass a ball as well from Dave there. Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit off, hasn't it, in recent weeks, Botman? He was getting all the praise a few weeks back, but with the results dipping a little bit, he's had a little bit of stick from people in our fan base.
He's still world class, though, isn't he?
No,
He's only a young lad. He's learning as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. He's been up for
Exactly.
contender the player of the season. Botman, he's been outstanding all season.
Yeah, of course he has. Of course he has. He's been a top performer, and a couple of bad results doesn't change that at all.
No.
It makes you laugh how quick people say, "Oh, we're losing games," and his passing's been like not very good. How man? He's been solid on defense all season round since he got on the team.
Okay, we're at the hour mark, Vince. When would you say Newcastle should be looking at making a substitution?
I would say now, because the game's going a bit flat. We need to pick it up a bit more. So I would say about now, like Mickey's in attack wise, he's grafting that, but he's not really doing much in attack. So I would like to see bring Isaac on, put him on now and all that, because it's going a bit flat, and you need to just build it up again.
Yeah, George, on the hour mark, about ready for a sub? Do you think?
Well, I said 10 minutes, didn't I? And if it didn't make a dent in the first 10 minutes, I think I'd be thinking about changing.
What about you, Barry? Time to make a sub?
Yeah, we've got nothing to lose. We're holding our own. Again, second half, I think we can only get better if we bring somebody on.
Oh, yeah, we're gone.
3 subs.
3 subs.
Eddie was listening.
Isaac,
I
ESM,
just
and
texted
Joe
before,
Willock.
like I sent the text. It was Isaac, ESM,
And
Willock.
Joe Linton.
Gordon's off.
Oh no.
He hasn't been much in it in the second half, really, like, to be honest. So
Gordon's off for ESM.
Amron coming off.
Wilson's off for Isaac.
And who's Willock coming on? Oh,
It's got to be
Bruno. No, it's Longstaff.
It's a long stuff.
Very ready to take Longstaff. Or he likes Longstaff. Surprised with that one.
He's
Okay,
obviously
so-
taking a knock.
He might got a knock like that last challenge. It was pretty like he went doing like he made a.
Let's see what happens to these subs then. Right substitutions, Vince? Happy with that? You seem to be happy with Gordon going off. I thought Gordon was okay. I
think he was okay, but like says he hasn't been much in the second half at all. So Eddie's maybe thinking like says put Maxim on because like it says the attack he can. I think he may be going for it. Like says that's what you want to see from your manager. He's like thinking right, okay. He's thinking more of attack wise, and I think so. Like we've seen Wilson, yeah, like says Isaac for Wilson. And maybe maybe Miggy, but we'll see. But go on!
Got a chance, yeah. Ball's fallen to ESM. ESM wriggling around, misplaced pass. Great ball in originally from Willock, which just bypassed Bruno, who was coming in on it.
That was so close. But I would say, like, if Longstaff, I think it only could be he must have had a knock or something that last challenge and all that. So I think that's why Willock. So yeah, I could say probably that's why Miggy's still on. But yeah, so far yes, I'd say yes. Go on.
Isaac's through on the right hand side. He's through again. Ake gets in strong. He managed to get the ball underneath the defender there, but he's causing all kinds of problems at the minute.
He needs to be careful.
Ran from deep. There was a late challenge. Another challenge. The goalkeeper came in, upended Isaac.
Do you think the break, if Longstaff hasn't took a knock, do you think
Joe Linton coming in?
Joe Linton card.
That was a missed opportunity, that.
Yeah, go on. Oh, how Trippier, man.
Trippier with the worst corner I've seen all season. Didn't even beat the blade of grass in front of him, never mind the first man. It was poor, that, like.
Luckily yourselves as a cover.
Surely there's somebody else at the club who can take corners and free kicks. Surely.
It happens all the time, Barry, though, at most clubs. It was, was that Joe Linton who missed that opportunity, was it?
Yeah.
De Bruyne off, Silva on.
Oh. I mean, that's it. they're just that's like for like in it because they're both just as good as each other. Them.
Yeah, De Bruyne
Which is so-
hasn't had a very good game
We've
today.
kept him quiet, like, but Silva's a good player as well. Like,
No,
he's one of them small, low central gravity players, and he's very good.
Good day, you know.
That miss was it definitely Joe Linton, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because the hand. I seen like the bandage on his hand. Like they were like, he's been wearing that for a while. I don't know what's wrong with it. Like,
It's just a little offcast from ASM.
It's one of his spares, is it?
Saw it lying on the dressing room floor. I thought, I'll try this. See
what it brings.
Dear Mayo, honestly.
Yes,
But, like,
sponsored by Boots the
Bandage
Chemist.
watch. What's he got on the day, by the way? Have
Joe
I had a look?
Linton.
Where is he? Has he got the he's got the bandages on his hand? He hasn't got them on his legs anymore.
Who?
go and play through.
ASM.
Oh, come on, Zach.
That's on his knees. Don't see his
No, it's on
knees.
his knees. I cannot see.
No, it's on
Oh,
his knees.
lovely. Oh, that was
He's actually
brilliant.
just coming inside out. Look,
it's
chip
too
ball to the back.
Oh.
He's actually
He
fired today. Like.
absolutely done him. God, see, that was brilliant.
He's just he's like Tino, gangly legs. Stopped, checked, used his body weight, got past the defender, chipped the ball into the back post, and it went to ASM, who's not renowned for his heading ability. It has to be said. And it was such an acute angle. Nothing was ever going to happen there.
But it's like since it has these changes have lifted the team that again, like we're going for it again. We're pushing.
Yeah, Isaac is much better than Wilson, says PDK.
We've dominated Man City the second half, haven't we?
Yeah.
Last 5 minutes possession, 68% to Newcastle, 32%.
When was the last time you seen
Oh,
that?
what a tackle that was.
And
Oh,
it's 2-0
God.
to Man City.
Silva.
Silva weaved his magic, cut inside just as Newcastle were coming on top, and Pope flailing at the far post. Bruno's got his hands on his hips, shaking his head, and damage is done, guys. 2-0.
Yeah.
Game over. Newcastle United did look the better team with the possession in their favour, but that's the killer. That's the killer
They haven't even been in the game, had they?
Well,
Not in the second half, really. Like.
that's why they're dangerous, isn't it? I mean, that's what they're like.
Well, that's what I was saying before about our bench and their bench. Look at that. They can bring on a player like that. Like, can change a game.
Yeah, we're arguing about putting a £60 million player on, and they'd bring a £100 million player on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was a poor kick out from Pope originally that caused that, to be fair.
Yeah. And like, got the challenge in on the side, but it just played in. And then...
It wasn't Silva. Was it Bernardo?
No, Silva.
Yeah, it was a good goal as well. But it was created by Newcastle. It was created.
Yeah, it was. We won the ball. We won the ball, and it just fell to them. Like, this isn't just.
It's still on Nick Pope. I'm not going to go now. Oh.
It's now. That was a good finish. That like.
See you later, Keith. Gutted, he says, thought we were going to have a chance of a breakthrough. Take care, everyone. I want to cry alone and quiet. No shame losing a game like this, to be perfectly honest. But I'm afraid 68 minutes gone. I cannot see a way back in this game for Newcastle now. I genuinely can't.
Unless we score early.
I mean, going for a goal, try and get a goal. Just get some. Look, mind the Man City's done no second half. Mind about that attack there, they've done nothing.
Mind the ball hasn't really gone there. It's not gone out that way, has it? It's been all down the right.
City on the break again. Here is Grealish, plays the ball into the centre. Foden wins the ball. Newcastle defending well. Bruno gets it, wins the ball there.
Played.
Back to Botman. Botman wide to ESM, who is in his own half. A little bit of trickery. Pushes the Man City player, though, and unfortunately, free kick to Manchester City. Europe slipping away, says Morris. Trippier crosses are schoolboyish. So Sean, Blue Rhythm boy, Trippier has galvanised the club. He's to how what Killer was to Keegan. Good point, Blue Rhythm boy.
Yeah.
These games were never going to be easy. They were always going to be a test of what Newcastle United were all about and where we're actually at. Next week is a bigger test. Newcastle need to bounce back in the next 2 games.
Yeah, no, totally. That's it. But there's still loads of games. It's not like Europe, like saying Europe's gone. It's not. Like this is City. Like this we can't like if we can pick it up again and just go again. There's still plenty of games. So
you've got to look. You've got to look now at the run-in, and you know we won't get anything from this game. I'll state that now. I think it's fairly obvious. We've got Manchester United at home. Of the teams around us after that, we've got Tottenham at home.
Yeah.
And we've got Arsenal at home. And we've also got Chelsea away. The rest of the games are against teams that you would say you'd like to think you're going to get something out of. We've got Wolves at home, Forest away, West Ham away, Brentford away, Villa away, Everton away, Leeds away. Chelsea, obviously, we've got Brighton at home, Leicester at home, Arsenal at home, Southampton at home. We've got, there's lots of winnable games in there. So for me personally, I think Newcastle should still qualify for Europe, but it's going to be an interesting run-in.
Yeah. No, definitely. No, definitely. Like, since this game straight out the cup, it's going to be hard away to Man City. Because it was always going to be difficult. But again, we haven't let ourselves down. Yeah, but we've played well. We've took it to them, which is what you want to do, what you want to see. Like, they're just a great side and they're playing well. So, like,
I think we've done our, and now we're getting beat. I'm happy that we haven't just sat back all game. However,
no,
we've had some sort of goal. That's a positive thing. You can come out of the game. The positive thing, we've at least had a go at them. Haven't sat back. The second half, they've had one real attack and have scored. That's Man City. That's how good they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's an absolute reflection, Darren, of how good they are. When they're not playing well, they're still scoring goals.
Exactly. No. You just hit the nail on the head, mate. Because
good God.
Proper fight going on here between Dan Burn and Haaland. It all started because Grealish was play acting on the ground. Edison's out of goal. Lascelles is in trying to calm things down. Big Joe's in there. Referee standing back. He's got a ringside seat and he's just waiting to see what he has to do. Yeah, Byrne's going to get booked. There's no doubt about it. Grealish will probably get booked. Joe Linton wasn't too seriously involved there, but Haaland ran the full length of the pitch to get a hold of Dan Burn. I think Haaland and Burn will go in the book for this, to be honest. David, you're right. He says, we're missing absolute sitters game after game. He says, we can't win a football match if this continues. What has happened to Trippier? At fault for the goal, and he's lost all the quality with his set plays. Morris says, we need to learn how to score again. Forest away is not easy, especially if we can't score, says Morris. No games are easy in the Premier League.
It's a bit harsh blaming Trippier for the goal. Like those goalkeepers kicking them high in the air. Mm-hmm. You can't blame Trippier for the goal, surely, because it was a poor bad kick.
Look at that. It goes down. It just goes down so easy.
Yeah, it's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. To be fair, Ruben got involved first. Haaland ran the full length of the pitch to have a go at Burn. It's a bit unfortunate for Burn. Burn got booked for the challenge, I would imagine. Haaland laughing at Burn. We can look at the easier fixtures, but our form this year is shocking. We've scored 3 goals, conceded a lot of goals now. We're desperate for a scruffy goal and a 1-0 win next match. Trippier's corners are really bad. He can't beat the first man. Blue Rhythm Boy said, I used to like Grealish when he was at Villa, but he's irritating now with these dives and rolling about. Yeah, very true. 74 minutes played. Newcastle United 2-0 down to Manchester City now. And not a good day. Not a good day at the office again, unfortunately for the Mags.
But again, like Isaac's been on for you've seen of him. He like the way he walked around that player and that he just looks class. We've got to you've got to think now and all that. Looking at that, you've got to give him. So you think of a player of Isaac's quality against Wolves, you know what I mean? Having him on your side, that's got to give him more and all that.
Well, what I will say is he's had a good game today, 75 minutes. And he's played well today. I think he's had a good game, Marcel, and he's a lot of criticism, but I think he's done all right today, you know. Marcel, you got to give him a lot of praise.
In class. Mm-hmm.
Considering who got in, I don't think we have had a good time.
Jacob Murphy coming on.
For Miggy.
Armour on. It's got to be armour on.
It has to be. Because he's like says, he's not been effective in the second half at all, gone forward.
This is the best team in the Premier League by an absolute mile. Have they outclassed us? No. Have they scored 2 goals? Yes. Has Haaland had a good game? No. Has Grealish had a good game? No, because of Trippier's kept him out the game. I think we've done ourselves proud. I think if we perform like we have done today against lower teams, less ability teams, we'll start to win again.
Exactly.
I'm not too downhearted today, like boys. I think we've given them a game. We lose it. I'm not too downhearted today, to be fair.
Nobody expected us to win today.
I thought it was kind of like that's a deliberate ball. He just fouls it. It just.
It's about as certain as Big Joe not getting booked over the next 10 games. We're never going
exactly. Yeah. It just.
I'm surprised Joe didn't get booked on the way to the ground.
Do you think we've overachieved this year? We've got used to it. I would worry about Europe with our squad as it stands. Says Mother, have we overachieved?
Well,
none of us expected this.
The answer's got to be yes, Steve. I mean, none of us, ardent fans, none of us would have expected it to be where we are at the minute. I mean, so that's got to be overachievement, hasn't it? If you get to that stage.
Or
on the other hand,
where we are in merit, though.
I'm going to say you don't get to that bit of the league in a cup final by people giving you it. You've got to win it, and but that's a good point about Europe as well. This squad would struggle with 2 games a week, which is what will happen if we get into Europe. We don't have the squad to rotate like the other teams do, so that's something they'd have to address if we did get into Europe.
Well, I think they will. Our owners, I think they've seen the problems we've had, like the cup final stuff like that and all that. This is it. It's not like we're under Ashley where we're not going to go into a summer where we're going to buy no one and all that. We're going to strengthen.
What's Bruno doing there, man?
They're just showing a difference between the two sides, BT Sports here, and it's clinical finishing. That's Wilson's miss, Joe Linton's miss, and then Silva coming on and taking his first opportunity. That's the difference between the two teams, and BT Sport credit to them for showing that. The result isn't a concern, especially with the performance level. We need to put the clubs below us to the sword if we get into Europe, says Brewer and Boy. We've got to remember the long-term plan. I would agree. Well said, George, says William Headley. But to be honest, we would love Europe, but haven't got the depth for that yet. Murphy comes on. Great ball in by Murphy.
That was he done his man, and that was a great ball in.
Yeah, it was a wicked ball in. Again, it's fallen to ASM at the back post though, and it was cleared by the Man City defender for a corner. But it was a wicked ball in from Murphy. He doesn't get the credit he deserves, the lad. I've got to be honest. He comes on and plays with a smile on his face, but does deliver.
Well, he does what someone on the right wing should do. He gets the line and puts the cross in. Unfortunately, Miggy.
I would love to see him against Miggy stats wise and see how many chances he creates and how many players he takes on successfully against Miggy recently.
Here we go again. Murphy with the ball, plays it out to ASM. ASM, little back heel at Joe Linton.
Joe Linton missed that set at the knees. It's make you worse.
Bruno's got the ball now, got a bit of space, lofts the ball in, hopefully to nobody on the back post. Trickles out for a corner, for a goal kick, sorry. Much better with a right footer on the right, PDK, you're right. 80 minutes played, Newcastle 2-0 down. Would you change the formation in the second half? In the next game, says Tom Dixon. He's got to do something. He's got to do something.
You need to change it up to something. You need to play Isak definitely from start next week.
Yeah.
He's got to, in my opinion.
Because that's it. Like you can't play the same formation, but if you've got better players in the better positions, that that can change it for you. So so maybe them start Gordon on the left, Isaac on the right.
Murphy instead of Almiron.
I would
do
drop Almiron against Wolves. I would give him a rest.
I mean, even then, you've got Joe Linton missing. You could play Almiron in his number 10 role.
Yeah.
Eventually pull Bruno back a little bit. And you guys on that side.
You can imagine Willock's going to start next week with Joe Linton being out.
So I was about to say Willock will take that place.
WWF going on now on the pitch as Lascelles gets a hold of Haaland round the neck, chucks him on the ground. Bit of a stare out. Haaland's laughing now, but I mean he was staring him out. It's funny. It's man of the match for me. I've got to be perfectly honest. Even with 10 minutes to go, is Lascelles for Newcastle.
Yes,
yeah.
I think it's a player that we all dreaded playing today, and he's been outstanding. And I know we've conceded 2 goals, but I wouldn't attribute either of those goals to him alone. And I think Lascelles has been outstanding. But anybody disagree? Anybody got anybody else?
No.
Not the day.
Consistently through the whole game, you've got to say that Lascelles, Others have had spots, bits here there, but consistently Lascelles, strong. What you want from a leader, he is the captain, and he's played like one today.
Peter on Twitter says, I think Target's nowhere near ready for playing in this back four at the moment. Gordon for Maxi is okay for me, as he will defend. Isaac or Wilson, that's the issue, but our squad is simply not big enough. I think we've all agreed with that. We know we need recruitment, but
we can't keep going about the squad. Can we all know? We need to forget about that. Just play the game, and I mean, you can't get and buy players. I don't know why people mention the squad. We know we can't buy anybody. You just can't forget about that. Can't just play the games now.
Yeah.
The only thing you do is bring through young'uns from the.
Elliot Anderson, he could start against.
There's a few, I think, who are knocking on the door. I think but I suppose he's got that pressure of trying to qualify for Europe. He's going to be unlikely to play them at the minute, which is a shame because I think there is a few who were there or thereabouts.
We could be down to 7th place at the end of this weekend. Obviously, Liverpool play Manchester United. Fulham play in the Monday night fixture against Brentford. But if both Liverpool and Fulham were to win, Newcastle could find themselves down to 7th place. And I've always been one for being behind and chasing rather than being ahead. I think maybe that comes down to the fact that we lost that huge lead in 95, 96. But I genuinely feel that in the chasing pack, Newcastle tend to do better when they're the underdogs,
Yeah. No, that. Yeah. I mean, and that's what it is. It comes down to attitude and that as well. And Eddie Howe, what he's instilled in these players, in the squad and all that. You can tell the hate losing you can tell the look in the face. You see the angry and the drive and the passion, and that's what you want to see from your players. And it says, to fight, says come back and fight. I think this is a squad that can do that. I mean, look, it says, we'll all look at last season, relegation, put these players in and what they did, where we finished, and then we've just pushed on from there. It's been, it says, we haven't expected this, and this has been, it says, it's the same players, but it's attitude that's been brought into them, and you can see it from all the time. The play, says, they want to give their all, and that's what you want to see. But I agree with you, Steve. I think it's, definitely. I think we're up for the fight, and I think they'll give it all until the end. Yeah.
Like when we got beat off Liverpool, you seen the players feel how disappointing they were, how hurt they were getting, and that's what you want to see, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't see a player happy they got beat. They were demoralised and they got beat, and I like to say that player. I look for the players' face, and you can see
anybody watching that match again. From half time would think it was Liverpool that had 10 men, not us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely.
So, this year, I now we're getting beat. I know Man City are a great team, and I'm not too disappointed there. I think we'll give a good account of ourselves. So now you're going to see so much negativity on social media the next 24 hours or so. I just hope they don't go daft. Do you know what I mean?
How many teams have they turned over this season quite easily?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They haven't turned us over in either home or away game. I think the lads have done themselves proud. They've conceded 2 goals. they haven't looked that bad. It's just blatantly obvious up front. We need how to focus on converting these chances, because we have had chances to score. They just haven't put them away.
Proper chances.
Sorry,
Well.
that's true.
But do you not think that the players soccer? How can it be in
Realist,
Joe
man.
Linton's foot?
Like, he's such.
Do you know what I mean? Like Joe Linton. You can't blame Howe for that. Joe Linton missed from 6 yards out. It's individual players. That's the trouble you've got.
Target.
Yeah, Matt Target coming on. Good to see this. 5 minutes to go.
You know what? Forget as well. Like Target's 6 foot odd as well. He's not a short as well either. You know what I mean? We're going about beating the top. Target isn't small either.
Can we not bring Chris Wood back off loan? Is he official?
Well,
I think he would have converted the chance that Wilson missed.
Good save there by Nick Pope.
Yeah.
It wasn't too dangerous. Foden cut in, and we've seen him score those goals. But fair play to Nick Pope. He was alert. He was down to it. He could have switched off there, and
just so well played. That's what they can do. Like his smooth
beautiful one-touch football on the counter.
Yeah.
And he hit it with his left foot. He tried to roll it in the bottom corner, but he was equal to it. Pope got down and Botman cleared. Yeah, we'll go then. Big Dan Burns gone off. Matt Target's gone on. 3 minutes plus stoppages. Good to see Matt Target back in the black and white shirt. And it's a step closer towards a start, maybe, for Matt Target. Gives us something different for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want. You want like say the positions challenging, burning, Target fighting. That's what you want. And is it a bit complacency because Wilson is just up there, but he hasn't really got, because Isaac really isn't that kind of his same player. Is it because of that? He's just, there's no one really challenging for the number 9 spot.
Yeah.
Man City look quite comfortable now, having to play the game out. Edison missed kicks one there, a little bit of taking his eye off the ball, and Newcastle United got a throw in.
Come on, get a goal. At least come on.
Throw in's taken. Bruno's got the ball, plays it back across the halfway line to Lascelles. Collectively, our man of the match.
Mm-hmm.
Trippier floats the ball in, but again, it hits a Man City player.
It was hard to bring Junior. He's had his foot up there, but he couldn't really do it.
It's difficult because he's actually playing up front on his own as well, and it's ploughed into a group of Man City players, and
But every time he's there, his touch and he pass it. Go on!
Oh, what a great ball again by Murphy. Newcastle United again. Look, there's positives to take out of this second half.
Yeah.
Isaac, whenever he's got the ball, has looked dangerous. He looks more dangerous picking it up deep and working his way in. Murphy's come on. He's put 2 fantastic balls in there. Really, really good. Trippier, that's again bad deflection. Murphy's just tried to win the ball there, but it's gone as a goal kick. Yeah, look, there's been positives. There has been positives.
Yeah.
And I think Eddie Howe will see that. It's what he does with them. Just showing Foden's goal again there, and if you haven't seen it, when you watch it on Match of the Day or on Sky later on, it's a great goal. It really is. Nothing you could have done about it. Player of the match.
He's in great form. He's in a great run of form. Foden, he's a class player.
So is Haaland, and he hasn't scored. That's got to be some credit.
And
De Bruyne, he went up the pitch. De Bruyne.
Well, we've kept
De Bruyne has been touted as the world's best midfield player, and we've played him out of the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Haaland hadn't had a sniff.
Hasn't been a great deal considering, apart from the goal.
We haven't shown Man City the respect, have we? That's a good thing to take out of the game. A lot of teams play Man City, they sit back, they show too much respect, don't they? We haven't showed that today. Yeah. I think we've done all right today, and I'm not going to be too now, but we've got to count ourselves.
I don't want to say it could have been a lot worse before the match is finished, but
but they haven't done much, have they, though?
Kiss of death, Barry.
I know, it's like
exactly.
Wait another few minutes.
But they haven't really done much. Even the scored third goal, that's undeserved third goal. I think I've given a good game. I think Lascelles had a good game today. We haven't sat back. We've pressed them a lot more this game. It's a lot of positive to bring out the game today, even though we're getting beat.
Well, I mean, they're just...
there is, but the difference is we could have taken our chances. It would have been a different game.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. If you say like Wilson, Joe Linton, if they take the chances they go in, see something else, don't you? We see. Oh dear me, yeah.
4 minutes injury time.
But I mean, how Alexis? They're 2-0 up. Why they hold it in the corner like that? You know what I mean? That's a bit. What's happened there? What for?
I knew Lascelles was talking. Was Lascelles talking to ASM there?
I don't know.
Something like.
I don't know. I didn't really see it.
Bit of banter backwards and forwards in the crowd from Haaland. It's because Newcastle United are getting a bit frustrated here with this short corner.
He's holding it in the corner and he just keeps on playing off our player. Alexis, there finally. But they're 2-0 up. Alexis, why would you play like that? 2-0 up, 4 minutes ago. It's just.
You know, like we do it all the time. That's why.
Oh, it's just
yeah, the game's just petering out. We've got almost 92 minutes on the clock. Lascelles plays a long, hopeful ball forward, but yeah, it's not great, and just blow the whistle for me.
City are quite happy to just keep it this way, and that's it.
Supermac was right about Murphy. May not be brilliant, but he can cross and cause problems. Says Toby. Lascelles got booked in that exchange before, but difficult to see what exactly happened. He was booked for arguing with the referee, according to Sky, just because City were continuing to see the game out down in the corner. That's why. Newcastle, one last chance. Joe Linton to Murphy. Murphy taken down, and it's a free kick. Within Trippier range, Gundogan taking over, taking out Murphy, who, as I say, has looked dangerous since he came on. Tangle of feet leading to the free kick. It is Trippier distance. Have a dig, son. Have a dig. On this camera, it always looks as if it's further away, but it's actually quite close, this. I don't think he'll have a dig. I think he'll play it in. Edison's gone to his far post, got his four fingers up, wanting 4 on the wall. 4 men over the ball. Murphy target. Lascelles and Trippier. 1 minute to go in a stoppage time. And it looks like it's going to be another 2-0 defeat. 2-0 to Liverpool, 2-0 to Manchester United, 2-0 to Manchester City. Newcastle not getting hammered, and had they taken the chances in all 3 games, they might have got something out of all 3.
Our goal scoring lets us down again.
That's it. That should be the headline.
I know. And it is. The effort's there. It's just that bit. That's the one bit. That's
there. It's just the end product, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Trippier goes for the shot. It's on target, but it's easy and it's comfortable, and it's into the hands of Edison. And it beat the wall. It went straight in between.
No, that would have been straight Edison anyway.
Took a deflection, but it went straight to Edison. And that's it. Full time. Newcastle United lose 2-0. And some words of wisdom from Pep Guardiola into Eddie Howe's ear. Graham Jones there interjected, and it didn't seem to go down too well with Pep, that, to be perfectly honest. Said
I think
some
Pep was just trying to word. I don't think it was any nasty. I think Pep was just
I
trying
think
to
he
like
was. I think
word,
he was.
yeah.
I think he was saying something, but we don't know. We don't know what was being said.
Yeah.
All handshakes go on. So sum the game up, John Don Geordie.
Like it's just unfortunate. It's been like a lot of them we've played well, played with the ball. Just that last that the finishing, just that's it. And Wilson, it's frustrating, but like it says, there's positives. Targets like says got like a bit of time, like he's on the pitch. That's what we want to see. Players like back. Isaac looked good again when he's come on the ball. Like he's really good with the ball. Like says the attitudes there were no everything else. It's just the finishing. Like says like Murphy as well, getting the line, putting the balls in. We've seen and Gordon played well as well. So we have had quite a few positives, just not the result. So yeah, like I'd say like there's positive to take out. Look at saying like yourselves, definitely man of the match. Didn't put a foot wrong, helped like Holland. Like says we kept two big players out, but unfortunately Man City's got a lot more than just two good big players. That's it, like says. But yeah, no, we didn't do any ourselves as a disgrace. It is 2-0, but we played really well, yeah.
George, no disgrace, I guess. 2-0.
No, always disappointing to lose, but gave a good account of themselves. The frustrating thing is it's 2-0, but with chances taken, it could have been 2-2.
Yeah.
Barry?
Yeah, I'll go, George. I think it was there for the taking on the day they've got better strength and depth than we have, but we have a serious problem with putting the ball away, which he needs to do something about, because we will get other chances against lower teams and he needs to find a way of scoring.
Darren, last but by no means least, your assessment.
Again, we got beat. I'm not too down on it. I think we've done all right. We've got to count ourselves, but the last here, we need to start putting the ball in the back of the net. We need to change it up, but we've done all right today. I know we got beat, but we got beat by the class of Man City. The note, like, you don't win titles for nothing, do you? And that'll be us in a few years' time.
Toby won his bet. Joe Linton and Lascelles double to get booked. I suppose every cloud's got a silver lining too. Hopefully people will stop talking about top 4 now. Our battle is to stay in the top 7, says PDK. Thanks to everybody on the panel. Thanks to everybody in the chat for keeping us company. And I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back at 6:30 tomorrow night with the professionals. Until then, take care.
Good to see you, lads. Good to see you.
Bye.